everyone to Poppin' Often with Lofton. Today we're going to be playing Rama. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this Rama video. A lot of you guys are waiting for Rama. A lot of you guys are waiting for Prime Night. I mean, I know it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. If you guys want to be notified about any Grand Chase content, not just guides, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified the next time I release another video. And as I always say, if you guys want to help keep the channel going and keep content flowing out of my channel on a regular basis, Patreon's where to go. I appreciate any and all support. Thank you guys for keeping the channel running. I can't do it without you. Now let's get started. So we have Z, 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 right? That's actually more Z's than what they say. Then we have the up Z. We have the up Z. You need to have some chi for it. Then you have the down Z, which is the evade. Then you have the stone fist. Then you have the XX, which is... Alright, so let's get into the tips and tricks of this class. But let's just talk about these X stances real quick, because this is a new iteration to Jin, which you don't see in any of his other class. So this stance right here allows for what we just discussed, the trigaram and the kicks, and then the backflip. Let's discuss when we would use all of them, okay? So we'll start with the backflip. You would use that at the end of your rolls, or you can use it just to escape your stance, because you can't really do anything unless you do a kick. And if you don't want to do a kick or do the trigram, your best bet is just rolling out and you're free to go. But yeah, you can use it at the end of a roll. If you roll, you could do something like that and you give yourself more distance and you have yourself a little bit more invincibility frames. It does save your butt a lot more than you would think. If you can get used to doing it and timing it properly, you'll realize you have a lot of invincibility frames. Especially if you could do the other one too, where you roll like that and then you can do the trigrams or something like that. That helps as well. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. When you are doing the roll, your character model is going to be on the other side. It's going to be like that, right? So if I roll, I'm going to be looking at her now. Roll, looking at her now. So when you do the stance, think about your keys switching whenever you do a roll, because that's what's happening. You can also combine the evade into the roll as well. He's just very evasive. This job is nuts. This job is definitely one of the more noob-friendlier jobs. So Jin, if you want to learn how to use them, this is probably the best bet. Very, very easy to use and very, very effective. And once you master it, I mean, you become nasty. Now let's talk about the trigram. You would just use that anytime you see an attack incoming. Very, very simple, very, very easy. Whenever you see it coming, just press it. Then you have the kick right here. Rapid fire. I mean, honestly, there's really no reason to use it unless like you just see an opportunity. It's not really one that you'll use. You'll use more of the falling sky. It allows you for a better setup and it allows you to get a lot more bang for your buck when you're doing it versus this one. One thing I did notice though is they changed how this works, so you can't juggle anymore if you wanted to. The way that the character falls makes it so it's impossible. But you can get around this is if you catch them doing something a little bit different, or like, you know, if you catch them like falling down or something and then you kick them, you can start juggling again. But they definitely nerfed the juggle. Where they didn't make it so you have a cooldown, which is good because I don't know why you would, but they made it so you're not allowed to really pop that juggle up over and over. You used to just juggle you, juggle you, juggle you, juggle you, because it would knock you up this way and you'd fall in the sky again and it would just keep happening. One more last thing I want to talk about is the backflip into your abilities. So you can backflip into a rapid fire kick as well. That's usually the most you'd probably use it, because if you do that, you're kind of vulnerable until you like roll or something. You see kind of when it ends, you can be hit. He's like flowing. See him do a backflip and he's kind of like flowing, and then you'll see his model kind of get stuck. That's when you can hit him. You see? He's like down and then he pushes himself back up to get in regular stance. That is when he's not invincible anymore. Therefore, doing this when you do that backflip is kind of a good way to get them off you if you notice that they're coming. That way you can get out of your stance without actually hurting yourself. Now that we talked about the X's, let's talk about his jump attack. So his jump attack is like ridiculous. It's very, very good, especially if you can manage to do it in a corner, something like that. You're very, very hard to hit. You're you're protected. And even if they come from the top, you can still hit them. Even if they go like that, you can still hit them because you'll just do that. So very, very important for you to learn how to do with Jin, especially if you're dealing with like Prime Knights, PKs, Sekhart's fourth job. You just do that, he can't do anything. Just wait for him to dash and then just jump attack. That job is like defenseless against jump attacks. So wait till he gets to the edge of his slide or his slash and he's dead. But how would you go about doing this? So what you want to do is you want to dash to the left, jump up, press down. Dash to the left, jump up, press down. Dash to the left, jump up, press down. Dash to the left. Like that. See? We'll refresh over the rolls. So that once again, there's 3 types of rolls. You have the regular roll, which is this. You have the shadow step roll, which you're a little bit more tucked in. You're not going as far. It might look like you're not tucked in, but you are, trust me. When you get hit, you'll realize it. And then with the flash step roll, you're pretty much looking at distances like that, which is why it's pretty nice to do the flash step roll whenever you're, you know, doing anything. And then of course the same concept applies where you want to roll and hit the target and then roll at the same time. So you want to do that. You don't want to just roll past them without hitting them. You want to try to get your hits in while you roll. Very, very effective way to whittle them down and making it so that, once again, you're not just hard to catch, but you can actually smack them a lot. And if you wait, as you see, I can hit her twice instead of once as long as I finish. I would definitely recommend just doing it once. And then when you get good at it, go ahead and start doing it with a double. One thing you do want to note is that Jin's 4th job roll is one of those rolls that just can't be stopped. So if you put in that command, you're not stopping his roll. He'll get hurt, but he'll still be rolling while he's getting hurt, and then he'll get into that invincibility frame and he won't take any damage. It's just like Seghart's 4th job, Prime Knight. If he starts sliding, you can hit him until he starts into that motion, and then you can't hit him anymore. So even if you are getting hit, just roll anyway. You'll eventually get out of it. With Jin's Asura and Shisha, if you roll with those and you're getting hit, he will stop rolling. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about his abilities here. We have 1. We have 2. And then on top of that, we have his 3rd bar here. This is it. The interesting thing about this job is that they made it so that your chi change and abilities make sense. Each of them do different things. So for his 1st bar, it adds more hits, which is why you'd want to chi it up. Sometimes you wouldn't want to have that many hits, because if you want to launch them in the air as fast as possible without them countering, without the chi is your best bet. If you want to get more damage off and you know they have no mana, then with chi is the best bet. And then 3rd bar is one that kind of sucks them in a little bit better. I'd recommend using that, especially if they're on platforms. You can suck them off the platform and they'll come to you. His suction used to be way worse. I remember when he first came out, or this job first came out, the suction was ridiculous. He will suck you from like here. He'll suck you from another map. Like this dude, it was dumb. I want to talk about his 2nd bar real quick. So his 2nd bar has something known as a just frame. Prime Knight has one. His Seghart's 4th job has one, but that's his whole kit. Jin has one just in this particular moment. So you'll notice a little icon above his head when he does it with chi. That right there. That is a just frame. He can do it 3 times. I could probably only do it twice because that 3rd one's a little bit hard to hit. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but here's an example. This is it. This is it. Come on. There we go. And that's the final one. One little thing that I just forgot to share with you guys is that because Jin's jump attacks are very, very small ranged, what you want to do is you want to dash first and then just kind of jump to them. Jump into it. You can do it backwards, you know, and jump out of it like that. But you want to make sure that you're dashing into it so that way you're lower to the ground. If I just jump right now, you see how far I am? What is that hitbox, by the way? But yeah, you see how far I am? Like, I don't, it's very, especially if it's someone rolling or sliding, you're not getting that hit. So if you can manage, like try to flash step first, try to rocket step first, whatever. That way you're lower to the ground. It doesn't really matter how you do it. Just make sure you dash before you do it so you can get both of them for sure and they're already in your face. If you jump like that and you're trying to go in for a combo, it's a little bit harder because you're further away. But if you're already in their face, very easy to like get a grab after before they can use a skill. Very easy to get your ability off before they can use a skill. Like you want to use the fact that they are flinched to go ahead and get something. You can also delay the 2nd hit if you just wait. So I can do double tap. I could do 1, 2. So really get funky with it. Get funky with it. If you're lower and you delay it like that, you could for sure get like a, see? And they're already stunned. So keep that in mind when you're playing them. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys want to be notified when I make more content about Grand Chase, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also if you're getting value out of my content and you want others to get value out of my content and you want to keep the channel continuing to grow and continuing to pump out more content, my Patreon link down below is where you want to go. Not only do you get early access and just other goodies, but you also help support the channel. I appreciate any and all support. As I said before, Patreons are the reason why I can do this. So thank you guys for being a Patreon. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you for what? Popping often. We'll lock them.